Welcome back. My name is Rachel, and I'm here to break down all of the Shadow and Bone content for you fellow nerds. Today we have our first official sneak peek from season 2 of Shadow and Bone. Let's jump into it, but first, if you're new here, I do have a whole playlist on Shadow and Bone, breaking down all the episodes, giving you all the info you need to know if you're a show fan but not a book fan and you're majorly confused, so make sure to subscribe and check out that playlist link down below. Let's get into it, but careful for spoilers from book 2 of the Shadow and Bone trilogy, the title of which is Siege and Storm. We open up and we see Alina back in her old kefta before we lead into Nikolai, who everyone seems to be upset over the casting of, but I'm willing to give him a shot until we see how he does. Nikolai says, "You're a symbol," and Alina answers saying, "I'm a sun summoner." We then get the shot of the Darkling riding a horse and Alina in a village. Meanwhile, all the villagers are running away. When we left off, Alina and Mal were running away from their home country of Ravka. They thought the Darkling was dead, and in the first chapter of the book, Siege and Storm, Alina and Mal are across the sea in Novi Zem. They're just living their lives together in the book, trying to hide out, but the Darkling immediately finds them by the end of chapter 1 and captures them using his Nichivoya, which we saw at the end of the last episode of season 1. So it's possible that this is him on his way to capture Alina in Novi Zem. We see Prince Nikolai, who likely will be introduced initially as Sturmhond, the privateer hired by the Darkling, and behind him here we see Tolya, played by Louis Tan. This is the casting that everyone is extremely excited to see. He and his twin sister Tamar work for Sturmhond, who is later revealed to be Prince Nikolai of Ravka. They are heartrenders. They are some of the most beloved characters, and they feature throughout the series after their introduction in Siege and Storm. I'm not clear on what they're doing here in this cave. This part was not in the book, but it's probably related to them trying to find the sea snake, which, like the stag from season 1, is an amplifier that the Darkling wants to use to control Alina's sun summoning powers. We see Mal in what is likely Novi Zem, running away from what looks to be Ravkan soldiers. You can see the uniform is the same uniform that he and Alina wore when they were in the Ravkan army themselves. Matthias, having been arrested, is in the prison Hellgate, having been accused by Nina Zenik of being a slaver in order to save him from being arrested in Ravka by the Grisha. He does not realize that she was doing this to save him, so he is still pretty pissed at her, thinks she's a witch, and wants to kill her. Meanwhile, he is majorly suffering in the prison. Kaz Brecker, looking like he's angry enough to rip a dude's eyeball out, wink wink. Here we see Sturmhond, aka Prince Nikolai, with Tolya and Tamar behind him, the twins. I have no clue whatsoever what everyone is doing with their arms here. I assume they may be saluting the Darkling, who may have just walked onto the ship. That would make sense, I suppose, seeing as he's still going to be in a position of power, and Sturmhond is not known to be the Prince of Ravka, so he would be deferring to the Darkling's station. We see Inej being Inej, Jesper being Jesper, Nina being Nina, and our first introduction to Wylan. It looks like he is talking to Jesper here, and so that means that Jesper finally gets his demo guy that he has been begging Kaz for, which we saw in the last season, which was a really cute Easter egg that everybody enjoyed. We see Tolya and Tamar looking at each other. I am obsessed with this shot. I got major goosebumps. I love them so much. They are perfect for the roles. Alina and Mal kissing, which honestly, good for them. They deserve that. The Darkling comes in very ominous, looks like he might be on the ship still, and he says, "Are you willing to sacrifice that which is most precious to you?" Possibly hinting at him using the threat of his Nichivoya to manipulate Alina. Looks like we see Genya not long after this, which makes me think that the person who's about to get it from the Nichivoya is Genya herself, which makes sense. This is how Genya ends up with a scarred face and the eye patch that she's sort of iconic for. We also get this great shot of 5 out of 6 crows, which is super exciting. This is the first time that we've seen 5 out of 6 of them all together. I'm looking forward to seeing 6 out of 6. Kaz looking like he's about to steal a painting. Wow, surprise, surprise. And Alina looking pretty pissed. I think if I had to guess, they're still on the ship here and they're either looking for or have just found the sea snake. This is just a teaser, so it doesn't tell us much. All we have to go off of is last season as well as the books, but that doesn't really work for telling us where our crows are going to end up because they've done some changes to make the timelines match up. So I'm not sure what our crows will be doing this season, but I suspect it'll have something to do with breaking Matthias out of Hellgate. However, they will not be going on to do the ice court heist after that, like in the first book. So we will have to see where they go with the new original story being created for the show. I assume that the first episode we will see play out very much like the first couple of chapters in Siege of Storm, where Alina and Mal are found by the Darkling and company. He uses Nijevoya as a threat and gets Mal, who is a master tracker, to search for the sea snake. Sturmholm comes into play and he has them aboard his ship, only to eventually reveal himself as the second prince of Ravka, Nikolai. I honestly am just so excited about seeing Tolya and Tamar. I can't really think about anything else. Let me know who you are excited to see down in the comments below. I'm also excited to see more of Nina. I feel like we did not get enough Nina time. Nina is probably my favorite character in the entire series of the Grishaverse, and unfortunately she was so underutilized in last season. I'm really hoping they make up for that. Let me know what you thought of the teaser. Leave your comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.